Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to show you how I made my Kermit the Frog cake topper. Okay, so to begin with I made the legs from 2 grams each of green modelling paste. And then I just rolled it into a small sausage shape. I worked with both legs at the same time so we could make sure that we get the same size. I then used my cake smoother to roll out the modelling paste so it's thinner. And now I'm just going to use my fingers just to rub back and forth there, just to create a little foot shape that will make the end a little bit fatter, which we can then flatten down to be his feet. As I said, I make them both at the same time so then I can gauge the size and we end up having the same size legs and feet. So now I'm just going to use a knife just to come in and just cut some little V's out. So we've got some little pointed toes. So I've done 3 V's there, as you can see. And I'm just going to do the same on the other foot. Here I'm just using the smaller end of my Dresden tool because it's pointed, just to go into the points there, just to neaten them off a little bit, and then I'm just flattening a little bit with my fingers. Okay, so now I'm just going to bend the feet over. Do the same with the other one. Okay, and I'm just going to bend in a little bit from the other side, and that'll keep the foot more of a right angle, as you can see there. Okay, so now I'm just shaping the leg further, just going to bend it round just to how I want him to sit really. So that could be however you want him to sit. And then I'm just going to flatten the very ends there because that'll just make room for the body to be stuck on top. Okay, so now I'm going to make Kermit's body, and I've got about 26 grams of green modelling paste that I've kneaded till pliable, and now I'm going to form it into a ball and then a bit of a rectangle shape, just checking for size. And now I'm just making the top a little bit narrower where his head will go. And I'm just flattening the top and bottom there a little bit as well. That just flattens it. If you just pop it down and just rotate it, that'll flatten the bottom bit. Just making sure it's all smooth. And now I'm just going to squish it a little bit with my hands just to flatten it a little bit so you've got the front and the back and it's not so rounded. Okay, so now I'm just using a little bit of clear alcohol on the top of his legs so I can just stick the body into position. And I'm just going to tweak everything a little bit. I hope you can see that there. Okay, so now we're going to make the arms, and each is about between 2 or 3 grams approximately, and I'm just doing the same thing that I did with the legs. So I'm initially going to roll them into a little sausage shape, as you can see here. And then again, get my cake smoother just to roll them further to make them thinner and even. Okay, now again, just like we did with the feet, I'm using my fingers to create a thicker bit, but then I'm going to use my cake smoother just to make the arm thinner. And I'm just checking it for size against the body because he's got really long arms. And then I'm just going to do exactly the same with the other arm again. So you can see that I've just left a little bit out of the cake smoother, so that's not getting thinner. Okay, so now I'm just going to flatten that for his hand. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. Again, working with 2 at the same time to get the same size. It doesn't matter if one's longer than the other because we can easily trim it, so it doesn't really matter about the weights really. Okay, so here's a hand I've already done. I thought it'd be easier to show you that first. So I've got the flattened hand here, the other one. And I'm just going to come in with my knife and I'm just going to make these cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that will give you 5 fingers. He's got fingers very similar to a human hand. So he's got like a thumb. So I'm just cutting that a little bit shorter to be a thumb. Just make sure the thumbs are on or like at the top of the hand. I'm just using my blade tool just to come in, just to separate them and to help smooth off the fingers. Just using my fingers as well. Now if you find that your fingers are a bit fat, you can just come in with a knife and just trim them, just make them a bit slimmer. Again, you can see I'm just comparing it with my other hand so they look the same. Just going to make that finger a little bit thinner. I do faff a bit. And there you go, I'm just going to use the blade tool again just to come in and neaten it all off. I do play with this quite a bit just to get them the same size. Okay, so I'm just checking for length now. So that just needs to be trimmed a little bit. So I've just marked that by squishing it. There we go, I'm just going to stick that into position. And now I'm just going to do the same with the other arm. So I've just placed Kermit's hands on his legs, so I'm just going to tweak that and then stick them into position. Okay, so now I'm going to make Kermit's head, and I've got about 16 grams of green modelling paste that I've kneaded to a pliable and then rolled into a ball. And now I'm just going to make the bottom a bit narrower, almost cone shaped I suppose. This will be his neck. I'm just pulling that down, teasing it down, just to make it smaller, checking it for size. And then I'm just going to use my hands just to really narrow the front so you get a bit of a chin. So I've just made that front bit quite narrow. And now I'm just going to pull out his nose. So I'm just going to gently tease out the front of the paste to get a nose shape. I'm just going to get my bone tool just to come in around that chin to neck area, just to create that indent a little bit more, and then use my fingers just to thin it off. That'll just bring the neck out a bit more. Just always keep checking for size. Hope you can see that there. Looks a bit like a little L shape. Create more of an indent, and then smooth again with my fingers. Okay, now I'm just going to use my knife tool just to go around, just to make an indent for Kermit's mouth. You can see there. And I'm just going to press down because the indent made it a little bit wider. So if you press down, that will close the lip a little bit more to look a bit more authentic. Again, just checking for size, it looks okay. And now I'm just going to use some clear alcohol just to stick that into position, just pressing down gently so it fits in position. Okay, so now I'm just using a ball tool just to mark where Kermit's eyes will go, and this will also just make the top of his head a little bit pointy as Kermit's is. So I hope you can see that there. There's a little mark where his eyes will go. And I'm just going to shape that further with my fingers. So now I've got 2 balls of white modelling paste, the same size, and I'm just using some clear alcohol to stick them into position. Pop them in and then just flatten them a little bit with my fingers because they're like semicircles, his eyes. Okay, so now I'm going to do the collar, and I've just got some of the green modelling paste which I've mixed with a little bit of yellow. So I've just rolled out a strip of it and I'm checking it for size. It needs to be a little bit thinner, so I'm just going to take a strip off. Check it again. that's okay. So now I'm just going to go along and I'm just going to cut out some triangles. You don't want to go right to the very top of the strip because it'll be too delicate and it could rip. Okay, so now I'm just adding some clear alcohol around Kermit's neck where the join is from his neck to the body. I'll put some on the back as well. And I'm very gently going to pick it up, the strip, and I'm just going to go from the middle of the strip. I'm just going to stick that into position at the front first. Very, very gently teasing that round and fixing it into position at the front first. Then his shoulders. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the excess off at the back, and I'm going to trim it where the top of the triangle goes. So I've taken one side off. I'm going to fix that into position, and then again I'm going to trim the other side where it would meet up, so you get a nice join. I will show you in a minute. Just going to fix it into position, tease it round. I just need to take another triangle off. Okay, and I'm just using a brush to smooth off the join there. And just going to pick it up so you can see. There we go. Okay, so once Kermit's eyes were dried, I just drew on his eyes with a black edible pen. You can see it on the line there for one of them. It's like a curved line. Very gently over the front there. Just making sure that they're even. And then it's just a little dot in the very middle of that line. And just do that again on the other side. Okay, and once they were dry, I did go over it again to make it a bit thicker and darker. Okay, that's your Kermit cake topper made. I really hope that you found this tutorial useful. Don't forget to check out my other ones. Please comment, like and subscribe for more. It really does help my channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.